It starts with the players, who each put up $1 million apiece to guarantee their seat, to test their skills against the best around and claim the crown of fully faced defeat. Because victory is sweet, and one will walk away with millions on millions, hands raised to the ceiling like he's holding up the building. This is where dreams are made. One of the largest tournaments poker's ever played. All of the big names are in the game, and in the end, a portion of their pot goes to one drop, so all the players get to give back, and we just get to sit back and watch it all unfold right here, where the fortunes are won and legends are told.
Welcome to Las Vegas for the 2014 World Series of Poker. The main event is on deck tonight. It's the big one for One Drop, the richest tournament on the planet.
Day two, gotta get through today, that's for sure.
Antonio Esfandiari is here to defend his title.
It looks like the magician has picked up speed walking in the last couple of years. Good for him.
2012 main event champ Greg Merson moves at a different pace.
Greggy is laxed and looking for a big score while playing Angry Birds. Good for him.
2 years ago, this event made big news with its prize pool and field, and it's doing it again. Brit Sam Trickett is the chip leader, looking to better his 2012 runner-up finish.
If Sam wins this, I suspect Pippa will come calling. Good for him.
And there's the man behind this event, Cirque du Soleil founder Guy Laliberté.
He's been to space, he runs every big show in Vegas, and he's got $1 billion in the bank. Good for him.
Once again, the big one has the undivided attention of the poker world, and with very good reason. 42 players bought in for $1 million each. Yes, that's 6 zeros. First place prize worth more than $15 million. With me, as always, my $1 million broadcast partner, Norman Chad. Norman, we've seen big prize pools and star-studded fields before, but can you put this year's event into perspective?
Actually, I can't. What I can do is this. Where do these people find $1 million? And if I suddenly had $1 million, would I buy into a poker tournament? No. I'd buy an 800 square foot, 1-bedroom condo in Midtown Manhattan. At least I'd have a chance of getting my money back on that baby. Who are these people? They are well-backed poker pros and well-heeled businessmen. They live a life you and I are not familiar with. Heck, Lon still owes me $10 from his $12 sit-and-go the other night. Thank you. You just became my first backer for the next big one. Now all I need to do is find 100,000 more suckers.
31 players left in the event, 8 at our loaded feature table. Daniel Negreanu is in great shape.
At this point, anyone who doubts Kid Poker on the felt is a fool. Did you doubt Kid Poker, Lon?
No!
Huh, you're not a fool.
The dangerous Phil Ivey has the biggest stack at the table, and he spoke with Kara Scott before play began.
Phil Ivey is playing this on the back of a win for his 10th career World Series of Poker bracelet. First of all, congratulations. Was that as exciting for you as it was for everyone else watching?
Well, yeah, I mean, always at the end of the tournament, sometimes I don't seem as excited as I should be, but it's because I'm just relieved, you know, because I'm just thinking about every hand, thinking about the players, the way they look, everything. I'm putting so much into it that I just feel a sense of relief. But once I was walking away from the Rio, a big smile came on my face.
All right, well, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get it going. The blinds at 25 and 50,000 with a 5K ante.
Good luck, everybody.
Do we draw for the button, or we just gave it to Daniel?
No, I just get it. That's kind of how things work around here. You're shocked by that.
Did they give
What
it
did
to
you expect? That they're going to make me have the big blind? I wouldn't come back.
Yeah, I thought it was only on EPTs.
Yeah, they don't listen to me at all there, literally.
Well, the squeaky wheel got the grease. Doc Sands complains and is dealt aces.
Go figure.
A raise to 115,000. What a scene here in the Amazon room. All bought in for $1 million. 31 left from the 42-player field. Daniel Negreanu 6-5 off. Gives it up to now 10-time bracelet winner Phil Ivey with ace-king.
I'd take even money that Ivy isn't actually listening to music. He just wears headphones so no one bothers him.
And he's going to re-raise it to 340,000.
We just are on our first hand, and we're going to get fast and furious early. Of course, Doc Sands does everything slowly.
The Doc Sands of time will come to a decision with his aces. Oh, a 4-bet to 820,000. Back at you, 10-time bracelet winner.
Well, if Ivy is listening to music, it just stopped. That re-raise gets his attention.
Recently caught up to Johnny Chan and Dora Brunson, and one of the few in the game not addicted to ace-king pre-flop. He folded. So Sands will take that.
Did my man just fold ace-king there pre-flop to a 4-bet? That's why he's my man.
So Phil Ivey remains in third place after folding ace-king. Doc Sands takes the pot, moves into 8th place, and it's 2012 runner-up Sam Trickett with a sizable lead.
Trickett knocked out the only woman in the field, Vanessa Selps, on day one. He earned $10 million at the first big one, shooting for $15 million this time.
4 chips in play right now. The purple chips are good to have. They are worth $250,000 each. All right, and number 2, action under the gun on Doug Polk, 25-year-old bracelet winner from Las Vegas. Ace-7 of diamonds. He's going to raise it up to $110,000. Now to Gabe Kaplan, former TV sitcom star and high-stakes poker TV host with King-Queen off. He calls.
Here's some perspective that the last 6 main event champions were not born when Welcome Back Kotter went off the air in 1979.
Action around 2, Doc Sands in the big blind. Jack 5. And he will fold, so heads up with my favorite co-host, Gabe Kaplan and Doug Polk.
By the way, when Gabe woke up this morning, he was going to do some drywalling, but then he remembered he made day 2 of a $1 million event and didn't get a chance to change.
Here's the flop, heads up. Jack 4, deuce, both miss. Polk still leads with ace high.
There's never been a more raggedy board in the history of poker than Jack 4 deuce rainbow lawn, though some might think it's Queen 6 deuce, not me.
He bets $130,000. Nearly even chip stacks between these two.
Gabe trying to remember if he took his flow max this morning.
With king high, and here's a raise to 365. That is savvy. You never showed me anything like that, Norman Chad.
Boy, you're all over the Gabe Kaplan bandwagon today.
And Polk gives up the best hand.
And the 70-year-old schools the 25-year-old. Very nice. Welcome back, Gabe.
Well, Kaplan, and I will call him Gabe, now a bit above the 3 million chip starting stack. 4 tables in play. We've got them all covered for you as you take a look at the top 3 payouts. $15.3 million for first. A couple of players gained entry by being the top 2 finishers in a $25,000 buy-in satellite. Eric Lindgren was one of them, and Chicago-born pro Connor Drynan was the other.
By the way, Lon, how many shows did you work with your favorite co-host, Gabe Kaplan?
Just one.
That's what I thought.
All right. Antonio Esfandiari in the red, our defending champ. Action is on Daniel Coleman with ace-jack and a T-shirt. Thanks for dressing up.
He's a 23-year-old Boston-born online heads-up specialist.
And he's going to raise it up to $120,000. Gila Liberté short stacked all in with ace-king. Phil Galfond folds to Isaac Haxton in the big blind with 10-4. Haxton will give it up. Now back to Coleman.
Coleman's got the chips to call him. It's for less than 15% of his stack.
And Coleman will let Guy take the pot.
Well, that's polite of Coleman. You don't want to knock out the man who created this baby with ace-jack offsuit.
No chance for a double up for Guy, but he's happy to still be in the game. Guy La Liberté put this event together. Now he's working on putting his stack back together. The 2014 World Series of Poker Big One for One Drop is dealt by the WSOP's social game on Facebook and mobile. Try our new high roller tables today. Each summer, tens of thousands descend on Las Vegas for what some players affectionately call Poker Summer Camp. The biggest events on the calendar, the main event, and the big one for one drop. Action on Greg Merson right now. In front of him, German pro Christoph Vogelsang raised with ace-king to $120,000. Greggy finds pocket queens, a great thing for a short stack.
This is Vogelsang's first ever World Series event. That's like having Kate Upton as your first kiss.
The blinds are up to 30 and 60,000, a 10K ante. And Merson is going to raise it up to 300,000. Folded by Kerry Katz, now back to Vogelsang.
Vogelsang, one of 5 young German poker pros who entered this event, and they are all dangerous.
Merson, the only main event champ in the field. And two-handedly, Vogelsang re-raises Merson all in. Merson makes the call.
And we will have a race. All of Merson's chips in the middle, half of Vogelsang's chips in the middle.
So Vogelsang trying to knock off one of America's heroes, Greg Merson. All right, here's the flop. 8-4-9, no danger in there for Merson.
You know, if Merson were thinking, he would have made Vogelsang put the scarf in the pot as part of the all-in. It's a nice scarf.
Turn card, 6 of clubs. Queen's holding up so far. Vogelsang still with 2 overs.
Vogelsang looking for an ace or a king to knock out Merson.
It is a queen, and Merson gets the much-needed double up with trip queens.
And Vogelsang now is next to last in chip count here.
Indeed, Norman, he gave up about half his bank to Merson, down to just under 1.2 million. Greg is healthier, but even after that double up, his $2.5 million only puts him in 25th place. So the big one for one drop remains at 30 players after that double up. We'll pay 8 places this year, 1.3 million for 8th place to a whopping 15.3 million for our champion. Back to Talal Shakurchi with another big hand, ace queen in middle position. There's a raise to 145.
The fund he runs in London has 3 billion pounds of assets. He's out of my league.
By about 3 billion pounds. Ivy folds his button Seaver with pocket aces.
You always want to see Scott Seaver at your poker table, not because you're going to take his money, you're not, but because he's such a positive and friendly fella to be around.
Seaver with the aces. Re-raises to 305.
What's the initial raise? 145?
305,000.
Yeah, the initial raise?
Sands has it all wrong. Look at your hand first, then decide what info you need. That's like going into a car dealership and asking 1,000 questions, only to realize you're not even looking to buy a car.
Uh-oh.
Call.
Snap call, and Shakurchi in a deep hole and few ways to climb out.
Shakurchi is running into some big hands. Swimming with sharks, you eventually get bit.
So Talal at risk, and that's what ace-queen looks like up against pocket aces. Scott Seaver looking for the knockout. The flop, 8-jack-8, that's an empty cupboard for Shakurchi.
You might be ahead here, Scott.
Man, you have so much fun. I respect that. I really do respect that.
There's a queen, a little help for
You got the
Talal.
queen. It could come a queen.
Wait, I don't see it. What are you talking
Queen
about?
and you lose.
Oh, I didn't.
You figured it right out. You just saw you figured it out.
Shakurchi has to have a queen.
The river card is a tray. Seaver will take the pot and score the elimination of Talal Shakurchi.
He's now 0 for 2 in the one drop. So far, big investment, 0 return.
Talal Shakurchi says his goodbyes out in 30th place here at the 2014 Big One for One Drop. At least he can say he was taken out by pocket aces. Little comfort, I know.
Call.
The Rio has played host to the World Series of Poker since 2005. This is the second edition of the Big One for One Drop.
Never been so excited to possibly outrun King High.
Jean-Robert Ballard hoping his weak ace will provide him a double up against the King Jack of One Drop satellite winner Connor Drynan.
Ace baby would be, or 2 6s would be the best flop, please. 6-6 on the flop would be awesome.
With two
ace,
diamonds.
Ace and 2 clubs?
Runner, diamond.
Ace and 2 clubs.
I believe Ballard used Kickstarter to raise his million for one drop.
All right, he's at risk. Here is our flop. And top pair for Drynan, but Ballard did pick up a flush draw.
Yeah, but the lovable loser, JRB, at risk of going broke again.
Close it out. Come on. Give me that baby club. 3 of clubs right there. 3 of clubs.
Turn card. King of spades, 2 pair for Drynan, stealing an out.
It isn't a poker event till JRB is begging for cards on the flop or the turn. He needs one here.
The ace comes too late, and Ballard falls victim to Connor Drynan.
Ballard busted the big one? Never saw that coming.
He busts in 29th place. No money for Jean-Robert Ballard.
Did not cash is JRB's Tinder screen name, I believe.
Drynan, the 25-year-old, now lives in Vancouver, sits with just above the current chip average of $4.5 million. So JRB gone, but one of the biggest names in the game didn't even enter the Big One for One Drop in a series of tweets sent out before play began. Phil Hellmuth explained he couldn't get the financial backing to enter this $1 million event.
Geez, I would have backed the poker brat for 100.
$1,000?
No, dollars.
All right, we caught up with Jean-Robert Ballard after his knockout.
I'm not sure if I'll ever make it into the one drop again. I'll definitely be deep in main events, though, and you and I will be having a few more of these interviews.
Most of the poker pros here have backers because $1 million is just too much risk for their bankrolls.
Back at the featured table, Daniel Negreanu with pocket queens. He has witnessed Doc Sands open for $150,000 with Jack 9 off. Then Doug Polk calling with pocket nines. Negreanu in the small blind.
The Global Poker Index currently ranks Daniel Negreanu and Doc Sands 3rd and 4th in the world for best groomed beards.
Beards are so hot right now. Daniel with chips in hand. And that is a re-raise to 550. Ivy folds his big blind. Back to Doc Sands now.
Well, no more small ball from Daniel with 2 players already in and out of position. He decides to re-raise with queens. He'd gladly take it down right here.
Sands does fold now with the pocket nines. Doug Polk.
Not only was Polk born with a full head of hair, when he came out of the womb, it was styled just like that.
Polk calls again, this time for $400,000 with pocket nines. He'll go heads up against the queens of Daniel Negreanu. The flop, deuce, 6, deuce. Both like that flop, but it's Negreanu holding the hammer. 6-time bracelet winner, bets $400,000. The 1-time bracelet winner thinking about it. With his overpair to the board, he calls.
Well, many amateurs go nuts with pairs pre-flop, and then as soon as they have an overpair to the board post-flop, they go even more nuts, Polk playing it cautiously with good reason.
Well, that ace may slow them down a little bit. Both like the flop. The turn, not so much. Daniel does check. Does Polk see an opportunity? Ooh, he's reaching. And that is $200,000.
Polk just bet 10% of the pot on the turn. I don't understand the game of poker anymore, Lon.
You never understood the game of poker.
Good for you.
Well, Daniel just with a call. For that price, he can't go anywhere. Plus, he's got queens. River card, 6 of diamonds, double pairs the board. Daniel is best with queens up. He checks, Polk checks. Daniel turns over the best hand and will take the pot.
Smooth sailing for Negreanu here at the big 1-for-1 drop.
Daniel Negreanu up to nearly $5 million now, good for 11th place presently.
Wow, so much clapping for Negreanu. It's unbelievable.
What about me, guys? You didn't make a great play. Damn. Make a great play and maybe they'll clap. I know. I need some great plays. Wow. Gabe, you know any good plays? Not trying to get a cheap showdown when your hand is never good anyways, maybe? Step 1.
This home field advantage is absurd. It's like...
All right, let's head to an outer table. It's been folded around to Guy Liberté on the button with pocket queens of his own. He's the short stack here with $1.2 million. He raises to $140,000. Galfon with ace tray of diamonds.
I feel threatened intellectually by seeing Phil Galfond and Isaac Haxton sitting next to each other.
You feel threatened intellectually at a crosswalk signal. Galfond calls for $110,000. Now Haxton, and these are 2 of the brightest minds in the game.
Haxton and Scott Seaver met each other when they attended Brown.
They've won untold millions between them in the game. Haxton with the re-raise. Guy shoves all in. Galfond folds. Guy exposes the queen, but Haxton hasn't acted yet.
It's okay. I'm in good shape against a queen.
Haxton with a call, Guy at risk.
Haxton was always calling there, getting almost 3-1. Didn't matter that Guy exposed his hand.
No problem.
Guy looking for that 2.6 million chip pot.
So excited to have 2 queens, right? I get it.
Same old story.
So the 28-year-old Haxton trying to take out the big 1-for-1 drop host here. Here's the flop. La Liberté at risk. Tray 4-10. Haxton pairs his 10, but still trailing.
We're going to hit 5 of spades and then an ace.
Turn card, another 10. That's a crushing card for Guy.
Haxton just lost his lifetime comp to Cirque du Soleil shows.
Queen left, I don't. Holy shit. Queen one time.
River card, no queen. Haxton's 10's full will send Guy La Liberté off into the night.
This is bad news. I think he holds all the prize money for the big one. You can't let him out of the building.
And Guy held queens in 2012 when Antonio knocked him out of this tournament. So Guy Laliberté will now watch the conclusion of his tournament from the sidelines. He may have organized the tournament, but he can't control the cards. Guy Laliberté out holding queens once again. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Kara is with Guy Laliberté.
We've just lost Guy, who is the founder of the One Drop Foundation and the man to whom this all really is due. What was the experience like for you this time?
It's always good. First of all, I'm already a winner because we raised over $4 million for One Drop, so I can't lose in that game. Second, always have fun to challenge myself with the best player in the world. Last time I did the final table. This time again, I got kicked out with my pair of queens. So listen, it seems that those ladies are not good for me.
Maybe next time. It's always great to see you here playing poker. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
There is Antonio Esfandiari, the man responsible for Guy's elimination in 2012, an elimination that helped him win $18 million.
I think that when I won, it was a great opportunity to be an ambassador for poker. It was a euphoric high. It's coming.
No, it's not.
It's coming. I remember the moment it actually happened when I realized I won. I actually went ghost white. I literally had a weird outer body kind of experience. I mean, it was incredible.
The barefoot magician walks away with 18 million plus.
And to share that moment with my father and people that I loved, it was really special. It was a beautiful experience for me. I almost feel like I'm always chasing that high because, you know, unless I win the main event or something or the One Drop again, it's really hard to get that feeling back. Since then, I have become the guy that won the $1 million tournament. Just One Drop. It's never anything else that I've ever done before. So I think everybody just kind of associated me with that victory, which I don't mind at all.
Antonio says if you don't believe you are going to win, you have no chance to win. He always believes he's going to win.
Antonio in the big blind laying a trap with pocket aces for Daniel Coleman, who opened raised to $150,000 with 7-6 of clubs. We are heads up going to the flop. The flop, Jack 8-8-1 club. Antonio checks his aces.
Antonio hoping Coleman will take a stab at the pot. You know, I believe most $1 million buy-in events have a dress code.
And the man with the t-shirt bets $160,000, does take a stab at it. The man with aces up now, just a call.
Antonio keeps slow playing his aces.
Turn card now. Queen of clubs. Antonio better be careful. Coleman with a flush draw. And Antonio checks again.
Antonio opting for the pinky check. First utilized by Doc Holliday in 1880 at a Tombstone, Arizona home game.
And Norman, it looks like Daniel Coleman's going to take another stab at this. This time $420,000.
Coleman goes for the double barrel bluff. Coincidentally, first utilized by Doc Holliday later in 1880 at the gunfight at the OK Corral.
And again, Antonio just with the call.
Antonio slow playing these aces into the desert twilight.
River card 6 of spades, no flush for Coleman, but a third spade on board. Another pinky check from Antonio.
Coleman lived with Connor Drynan, one of the 25K satellite qualifiers for this event, in Mexico when they both were playing online there.
Coleman also lived in South America to play online poker, Montreal to play online poker. Quite well known in that online world. And reaching for more chips, 1.1 million, a strong bet. Antonio's a little worried now.
Such a love fun.
Antonio fears Coleman hit the flush, and he's probably bemoaning the way he's played the hand. If he check raises the flop or the turn, it might have been over. Now Antonio's got a tough river decision to make.
There's the call. Antonio will take it with aces up, but not without a little sweat.
Good call from the One Drop specialist.
Our player tracker graphic shows you the impact of that correct river call on Antonio. He started the hand with 7.3 million. He's now in second place overall with over 9.2 million. Daniel Coleman still has 110 big blinds, a very healthy stack All right, let's get back to the featured table where two of the biggest names sit with the two top chip stacks there. Phil Ivey sits behind 7.3 million. Daniel Negreanu with 4.8 million. Daniel with king, queen off, raises to 150,000. Scott Seaver folds. Now Doc Sands. Ace, king offsuit.
For those of you familiar with the theory of continental drift, most of that glacial global shift occurred while waiting for Doc Sands to act.
Just a call from middle position. On the button, Polk folds 6 deuce in the small blind. Gabe with 7-5 of hearts.
Gabe, the only player who registered for this event after it began. He was delayed, converting all his Welcome Back Kotter beta tapes to DVD.
He's looking for a long shot flop. Gabe did call Brandon Stephen with ace king of diamonds.
The inside of his cuffs looks better than the outside of any shirt I own.
This Wichita businessman loves the high roller events. He finished 12th in the last one-drop event, and he's going to re-pop it to 475.
Stephen, a car dealer mogul and quite a good poker player.
Daniel, the original raiser, folds back to Sands now. He looks a little offended at the re-raise from Stephen. Well, Doc not going anywhere with his ace-king off. And he's going to 4-bet it to over 1.1 million. Gabe thinking, I wanted to play those, but not for that price. Back to Brandon Stephen now. Brandon Stephen, never one to back down from a challenge. And he makes the call for 645 more. Ace king off, ace king suited. The flop 9 deuce 6 2 diamonds. Stephen with a nut flush draw, but odds are they will chop the pot.
Stephen was the 2010 bubble boy for the November 9, and you may recall him from a memorable hand at last year's main event against Beverly Lang, where he laid down the best hand.
Brandon Stephen checks.
Sands has taken some time off recently from poker to work in the real world. And trust me, no one in the real world appreciates the 5-minute wait after asking David if they can borrow a pen.
He just celebrated his first wedding anniversary to Erica Matino. He bets 470,000. And a raise, a check raise to 2.6 million from Brandon Stephen. Wow. And Doc Sands folds, and Brandon Stephen will drag that big pot.
Very nicely done by Brandon Stephen. I'll be honest with you, if I'm buying a car from him, I doubt I'm getting the best end of the deal.
Well-earned chips as he has boosted his stack to over 6.6 million. Good for 7th overall. That one hurt Doc Sands, who gave up over 40% of his stack to Brandon Stephen. So Doc picked up a big hand, but he could not turn a profit with it. David Doc Sands reeling here at the big one for one drop. Stay tuned for continuing coverage of the $1 million buy-in big one for one drop coming up at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Good flop. Turn wasn't the best.
This is the worst. I don't want it all or none.
Welcome back inside the Rio. I'm Lon McCarron here with Norman Chad and Kara Scott. Let's get back to our featured table.
It was a good hand. I had a feeling you were going to do that. Check raise the flop. Yeah, I just had a feeling it was like a good spot to do that. I was thinking if I had aces or kings here, best play is to call, check raise flop or something like that. Maybe not.
I mean, what I had is, he can't call unless he has aces there.
No, he could never have it. That's the thing.
He can't. I know.
He could have. He has like jacks or
queens. 100% check raising there.
Yeah, even if you have nothing, you're supposed to like good play.
I played it like I had kings, so
you could have anything. I mean,
I played it like I had kings, but that's not what I have. That's what I played it like.
Yeah, I'm saying he only has like jacks or tens. That's it.
Easy fold.
Two well-heeled cat burglars discussing their craft.
Three-way post-flop happenings. Chip leader Sam Trickett on the left bet 925 with ace-4 suited. Noah Schwartz in the black hat called with pocket nines with an open-ended straight draw. Daniel Coleman on the right leads with pocket queens and a gut shot. Turn card is a 9. Wow, trip nines for Schwartz. A queen-high straight for Daniel Coleman. Trickett's drawing dead. Schwartz checks. Coleman now with that turn straight.
And Coleman can't count on Trickett betting again here. So he probably is going to want to fire out.
And Coleman bets 2.7 million. Trickett quickly folds back to Schwartz.
Schwartz turned a set, and he can't like it much.
Wow, Schwartz looking a little nervous, but he does make the call, needing more help.
Noah's thinking, pair the board, 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 pair the board.
Needing a full boat to take this pot. He doesn't get it. The 4 is a blank. Schwartz checks a third time.
I guess it's possible Coleman spent his entire budget on the buy-in and had nothing left for a wardrobe.
Now, how much does Daniel Coleman think he can get out of Noah Schwartz? Those yellows are worth 100,000 each. 10 of them equals $1 million.
Another 10% of the pot bet? That bet is crying for a call. What, does he think Noah Schwartz was born yesterday? Noah was born in 1983. That's a lot of yesterdays ago. 10% of the pot. Where do these people come from?
A lot of warning bells going off inside that black hat. Schwartz folds.
Thank you, Noah.
Show the ace-king. Ace-king, one time.
They can't get Coleman to show. He's now the tournament leader with 14.4 million.
A kid in a white t-shirt has the most chips in $1 million tournament? Doesn't seem right.
To the feature table once again.
By the way, if Phil Ivey's going to wear headphones at the table, someone should get him a Barker lounger to sit in.
He is the chip leader at this table with nearly 7 million. King, queen of hearts. And there's a raise to 185.
So I get so anal that I'm touching chips when I'm out of the table.
Seaver now. Jack 7 quickly into the muck. Doc Sands on the button. King, Jack offsuit.
This is exactly how Lord Rutherford looked just before splitting the atom.
Sands the short stack at this table with just 1.3 million. He says all in. Doug Polk with ace king off.
How much is this?
1.325.
Polk has it right. Looked at his cards, then asked how much. Thank you.
Oh, look at Doc helping things out. Polk, the second shortest stack at this table.
I'm all in.
And now he says all in for over 3 million.
Ivey frustrated.
All right, Bill gives it up, so here we go.
Heck, Ivey should be happy now. He'd be crushed here.
So Doc Sands with over 1.3 million. His whole stack in the middle with King Jack against the ace king of Polk.
That jack does feel very alive.
It does feel like I'm going to hit it. If Scott and I both think I'm going to hit it,
It's just fresh. It's just a fresh
Here's the
bet.
flop, 9-4-6. Polk's ace high still leads.
Jack of hearts seems fair.
You can't say it's unfair.
It would be reasonable.
Like the ace of spades is unfair.
Turn card, ace of clubs. Doc Sands drawing dead, eliminated by Doug Polk. And a heart on the river would have given Ivey the flush.
Man.
Boy, Doc Sands does nothing quickly, except when he busts, he hightails it out.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about.
Doug Polk with nearly 5 million chips now. That's good for 15th place. He's still a force here at the big one for one drop. The 2014 World Series of Poker Big One for One Drop is dealt by the World Series of Poker Circuit Tour. Looking for live tournament action at a casino near you? Check out the schedule at WSOP.com. A look at the 42 players who bought in on day one of this event, along with Caesars Interactive CEO Mitch Garber in the front. 25 players left in action. Back at the featured table, the dealer accidentally exposed one of Negreanu's cards, but he'll get a replacement free of charge. Doug Polk with ace 10.
When Doug Polk takes off the California Highway Patrol shades, we get along real well.
He raises to 215,000. Polk has vaulted over Daniel Negreanu on this big one leaderboard, and Negreanu with aces.
Well, he would have gone a 6. Instead, pocket aces.
And there's a re-raise to $500,000. Folded to Scott Seaver in the big blind, and he gives it up. So back to Polk, the original raiser.
One of my cards got switched. Weird things happen in these spots. It's always weird, right?
You had a card switch?
Yeah, because one of them flashed, then I got a different one. And then weird things happen.
I didn't even know. You announced it?
Really weird things.
Too focused. They should just keep flashcards up the whole time.
Oh, wait, because you didn't see.
Yeah,
you didn't know.
Exactly.
And you might have picked up 6s and been like, oh.
Yeah.
You'd re-jam me here, of course. Like you always do every time I do that.
Only Daniel Negreanu can 3-bet you and then casually have coffee house conversation with another player while waiting for you to act.
Polk, well, Daniel tried to warn him, but there's the re-raise to $1,230,000.
A bad time for a 4-bet from Polk.
Yeah, Doug, obviously a non-believer in Daniel's recent monologue about be careful.
Daniel with a little Hollywood here. Actually, a lot of Hollywood here. He's acting very bothered by the re-raise.
This game is played on so many levels.
All in.
There you go. And Polk quickly folds.
Good read. He put Daniel on a Kevin Costner bad acting impersonation.
Good cards.
I had 8s this hand. It was so funny as you said that. I'm like, come on.
I mean, I had a hand both ways. But this one was better.
Ace of spades,
Ace of spades.
Yeah. That's right, I would have ace 6 of spades.
Or ace king.
Or aces or some. Huh?
I appreciate it.
I might not have 3-bet it, though.
If I were Daniel Negreanu, I'd wake up at 5 o'clock every morning because I know it's going to be a good day.
Elsewhere with ace-king, Greg Merson missed the flop, but it's been checked to him as the pre-flop raiser. In a hand with Rick Solomon and Christoph Vogelsang. And Merson bets 275. Rick Solomon has top pair. Yes, that Rick Solomon, forever tied to Paris Hilton and two-time wife Pamela Anderson. He calls. Vogelsang, never married to Pamela Anderson, a pair of trays and a scarf, and he folds, so we're heads up. 4 of spades on the turn. Solomon still best. He checks again.
The main event champ against the sex tape champ. I think the tape made Solomon more money than the main event made for Merson.
I think you're right about that.
I'm not sure what Greg's thinking right here.
He's thinking, is that the guy from the tape? Merson bets 525. Solomon makes the call. Merson in trouble here. River card now. 8 of spades. Solomon's queens are best. And he checked it a 3rd time.
Player bets all in.
Merson all in.
Boy, the champ bluff shoves. He's trying to push Solomon off a marginal hand. Rick with top pair on a raggedy board.
And Rick with the biggest stack at this table. Plus, he's going up against a main event champion.
My call.
Solomon calls, and the game is over for Greg Merson.
Good stubborn call.
Greg Merson eliminated in 25th place.
Well, he only had to pay $1 million to get into this baby. He'll get it back at the cash games in Macau.
Merson couldn't get Solomon to flinch with the all-in bet. Solomon now over $9 million, good for 4th place overall.
Of course he played himself on Entourage. Who else was going to play him? Morgan Freeman?
Greg Merson gathering his belongings. A bluff gone wrong will send him to the rail. Greg will now look ahead to the main event. Merson's exit leaves 24 players. Heads-up specialist Daniel Coleman leads the way with businessman Hong Kong Tom Hall right behind him. Trickett and Esfandiari trying to make back-to-back one-drop final tables.
We started with 42 players, 12 businessmen, and 30 pros. But it's a 23-year-old online savant in a white T-shirt, no less, who's gotten the best of it so far.
Tonight, the most exclusive field in poker got a little more exclusive.
My call.
Wow, Kid Poker chipped up and chatted up.
Weird things happen in these spots. It's always weird.
You got a card switch?
Then I got a different one, and then weird things happen.
Heads-up specialist Daniel Coleman asserted his dominance.
Such a luck box, kid. You are such a luck box.
For Norman, Chad, and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarran. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.